No, thank you. Sleepy. You come back in an hour.
Need sleepy.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C. Morning Show, part of the Billy C. Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C. Morning Show. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located in St. Simons Island, Georgia. Check out the website. Find out why I drool every time I think of Sal's Restaurant. www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or you could give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by JKJ Magazine. Want a free copy? I'll give you one. Visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the JKJ Boxing Magazine, which is on the right-hand side. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by our post-fight show. That's right, Billy C's Terence Crawford versus Viktor Postol post-fight show, which will go live Saturday, about 6 minutes after the official announcement is made. So make sure you tune it in right here on BillyCBoxing.com. And we'll open up the phone lines. We'll get your thoughts. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by book. Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold, and you can get a copy of it literally right now by visiting barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com. If you need a signed copy, don't worry about it. Just visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section, and all the directions are in there. And while you're in there, check out some of the other books, all good reads. Today's Friday, Fan-Driven Friday. We're going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later and take your calls. And as many calls as we get will determine how long we hang around. Oh, I say we. Well, joining me right now is Sal Rocky Senecola. What's up, Sal?
Good morning, Bill. How are you today, buddy?
Oh, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Getting ready for what I hope is going to be a really good fight this weekend, and that's my topic of today. And hopefully we'll get some calls to get our listeners' thoughts. Who's going to win, Terence Crawford or Viktor Postol? It's a good matchup, Sal, and you know, I'm curious. I can't wait for the fight, to tell you the truth, because I'm curious to see who's going to win.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a great matchup, and you have two undefeated fighters, and they both have a record of 28 wins, no defeats. Now, the difference is in the knockouts. Terence Crawford has about 22 knockouts in his 28 wins, and Viktor Postol only has 12 knockouts in his 28 wins. But supposedly Postol's been sitting down better on his punches, where he's going to be delivering a heavier shot, supposedly. But we'll see what happens. I think Terence Crawford is a complete fighter, and he's got it all right now. And I think, I'm going to look for Crawford to win, but we'll see what happens. Viktor Postol may have something to say about that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It'll be a good test. Viktor Postol's got the height and reach advantage. Unfortunately, his trainer is more of a go-get-'em, go-sick-'em boy type of a trainer in Freddie Roach. But we'll see how he handles it. I mean, this is what these types of fights bring out the best in fighters. And speaking of which, last night we had a couple of good fights on TV, at least in terms of the way these fighters are developing. In the main event, Sergey Deverenchenko improved to 9-0 with 7 knockouts when he took care of former world champion Sam Solomon pretty easily, it looked like. He dropped him in the first round and a couple of times in the second round before he stopped him for good. Sam Solomon drops to 44-14 with 18 knockouts. Solomon was kind of laying on the canvas for a little bit afterwards. And as you know, Foxwoods has a great medical staff. Did you get a chance to see the fight, and what did you think?
I did see the fight, and you just said something that's pretty impressive. For this to be Deverenchenko's 9th professional bout, going up against a guy that's got well over 50 professional fights. That was a pretty good display. And what I liked about it was Derenchenko was very cool, calm, and collected, if you will. He kept in his position, kept in the pocket, and early on, Solomon caught him with was shot here and shot there. It didn't phase him. He just kept his hands up, kept in position, kept looking at what he was going to do for his game plan. But the thunder in his hands was definitely evident when he landed on Solomon. And Solomon was bouncy all over the place. Not on, he looked like he was hyper, looking to get in and out. And like I said, it might have been effective for the first minute of the round, but Derenchenko just had power that he unleashed and ultimately stopped Solomon early.
Well, if you've ever seen any of Sam Solomon's fights before, that's the way the guy fights, and he's been pretty successful at it. He's been around a long time and has gotten some really good wins under his belt. But like is the case a lot of times, fighters don't know always when to say when. He's 42 years old. Maybe this is the last we've seen of Sam Solomon. As of the only 9 fights under the belt of Derenchenko. You got to remember, this is one of those.
Like hundreds of amateurs.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. He's had almost 500 amateur fights. So it's a different scenario, and that's where the asterisk has to be put in sometimes with these guys. But the co-main event, I was impressed. Evgen Kaitrov improved to 14-0 with 12 knockouts when he took care of Paul Mendez, and I thought it was an exciting fight. Mendez, when a fighter's smiling and laughing after they're getting popped and stuff, you know that they're in trouble. Kaitrov,
I believe you said that.
Well, what I enjoy,
we're in the middle of a busy night, and I had the fight on TV, and Max is tossing pizza, and we're watching the fight, and I'm there with some fans at the bar talking fights, and same thing, I said, Max, this guy's smiling or shaking his head, he's okay. I said, Max, when a fighter does that, he's hurt. He got his attention. He's going to go down a couple rounds.
Right.
And what I was starting
to say was that that what I see in Kaitrov, and I've gotten to see him live a couple of times, is he seems a little more. I hate to use the word, Sal, but robotic in his approach. He comes out, he breaks down a fighter. He doesn't rush in if a fighter seems hurt. He doesn't rush in. He systematically breaks him down. I don't want to compare him to Triple G, but I see a lot of similarities. And I give him a lot of credit. He's, like you said, calm, cool, and collective in there. And I thought that this was actually his best performance of his career. He's 14-0 now with 12 knockouts. Paul Mendez was no slouch, dropping to 19-3. I thought it was going to be a matter of time. It was, and it's going to be interesting to see where Kaitrov goes from here as far as all of the alphabet soup of sanctioning bodies. They all have him pretty much ranked in the top 15, and I think when our new rankings come out on Monday, we'll probably have them in our top 20. I don't know about top 15, but probably in our top 20.
Well, what I was impressed with, as you just said, he seemed patient. He seemed like he was, again, not just throwing a punch, but he was delivering a punch. He looked to get him on the side and the ribs. He looked to throw body shots. He was deliberate with his punch and his counters. So, I liked him. He definitely showed some signs of good power and good finesse, and I'm going to keep my eyes on this guy. He's going to be pretty damn good.
Obviously, it was an ESPN broadcast, but it was a PBC event, and I just, I'm so thankful that we have as many fights on TV as we had, but I tell you, the PBC. There's some things that I really think they're dropping the ball with, and number one, not to sound like I'm a dirty old man, which I am, but I think that ring card girls are important, not only for me, but for the fighters and the trainers and the corner, because let's be real. I mean, yeah, we all like to look at a pretty ring card girl walk by, but the truth of the matter is they're keeping you up to date on what round it is, and it's very easy to lose track, especially when you're in the heat of battle, and I think they're missing the boat on that. I also don't like the way that they have the announcer, off to someplace. I mean, you hear him over the PA system, but he's not in the ring anymore. It just seems sacrilegious in the sport of boxing. I don't know, and there's a lot of talk and a lot of BS. It just seems that they are 100% dedicated, Sal, to trying to capture a short-term fan. I mean, they're trying to educate them the way they want. They're smoke screen and mirrors. Even a guy like Teddy Atlas seems very corporate all of a sudden, speaking highly of fighters. I mean, the only thing and he dragged it out, but the only thing I kind of chuckled about him calling out Floyd Mayweather to step up and be a man and do something great. All the things we've been talking about literally for years. For years I've been talking about. And Teddy Atlas basically calls on Floyd to do the right thing and come back and challenge Triple G like all great fighters. And it's like, hey, if Floyd listens to Teddy, great. But Floyd is not going to listen to Teddy. All Floyd does is fleece his fans and cherry pick. But I will say this: if Floyd ever came back and fought Triple G, whether he won, lost, or had a draw, my respect would skyrocket for Floyd Mayweather, and I think that his position in all-time greatness would go up higher, even if he lost the fight. It's all a matter of taking chances to me, but that's what I got out of the broadcast. I found it. I don't know. I found a lot of wasted airtime, to be honest with you, Sal.
I wish I had it tuned in that closely so I could observe the same. We had a busy restaurant. I had the TV on. I was running food and bussing things and doing things what I have to do. We were mobbed, but I was able to catch the fights in the majority of the action stuff and see. Not listening to the broadcast as intent or as you
normally I don't.
So.
Normally I don't. Normally I would have recorded it and then watched it in the early morning and just fast forwarded it all. But last night I happened to have been watching it, so I had to sit through it. I couldn't fast forward it, and I got a little chuckle. But I got an email here. This one's from my man Jesse. He says, "Hey Billy C, what's your thoughts on Christopher Diaz versus Raul Morales?" First of all, Raul Morales is a good fighter. He's fought some tough opposition. He's 5'5". He's got a record of 22-5 with a draw. He's been out a little over a year, and he's lost his last 3 in a row against good opposition. So, you have to assume he's the opponent in this fight, even though, he's more of a known commodity than Christopher Diaz. Christopher Diaz, he's on the rise. I would still call him a prospect. He's 17-0. He's been in there, honestly, I'm going to say light to maybe average opposition. He's similar in height, 5'6". He is rated at number 101 by the computer. I think this is a big test. I think this is going to be a good test for Christopher Diaz. We'll have to wait and see, but should Christopher Diaz get by Morales, I think you'll start to see him progress in the rankings. So I think it'll be a good fight, and I don't think it's a layup fight for Diaz. And Morales, coming off of 3 losses, a win over an undefeated, highly touted prospect would get his career back on track. So I like the fight. He says, "Hey Billy, with the Kaitrov win over Mendez, I'd like to see him against Monroe, Harrison, Torino Johnson, or Tommy Langford." I agree, man. I listen, a Willie Monroe fight. I would love a Willie Monroe fight. I would get to see Kaitrov, see if he could break down a guy with a lot of movement and a fighter that throws his punches sparingly. I'd like to see it. I think Mendez was kind of right there for Kaitrov yesterday, Sal, and I think Willie Monroe would kind of let us see if he can handle a guy with movement. Can he cut the ring off? Can he do like Triple G do?
I think it'd be a good test. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think it would be a good one. He says, finally, will your Crawford Postol show be on to see after you finish recording the same day? I might not be able to watch it immediately, maybe 3 hours later. Yeah, we will be doing it. For anybody that's going to be watching the fight, as soon as the fight's over, we will be live, but it'll be broadcast on YouTube, our YouTube channel. So usually within, once the event is over, it usually is available probably 15 minutes. So once it's over, you can go up and it'll be on demand. So we'll be looking for you, Jess. One more email, and I guess we could see about opening up the phone lines here in a few minutes. But this one's from Joel, and this one's off topic. It's pretty much for you, Sal. You must be paying him to advertise. He says, hey, I'm curious, Sal, which is currently your best-selling slice of pizza, or which kind of specialty slices do you sell the most? He says, here in Westchester, I'm a big fan of white and white broccoli pizza, white and spinach, or buffalo chicken. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, just my opinion, buffalo chicken and pineapple on pizza just doesn't go. He says I can forget the ranch slice, which is done right. He says I can't forget the ranch slice, which is done right. What would Sal say his most popular dish for his restaurant is? And he says, Sal, I sent you the Parker Hamano fight. I was wondering if you saw it and what your thoughts on Joseph Parker were. So a lot of questions for you, Sal. What's your best-selling slice or specialty pizza?
Well, I'll tell you what, when we get a slice, and we sell a lot of slices during the day, and I would have to say a lot of, I think there was once a stat that pepperoni pizza is one of the most popular pizzas in the world. And it's not my favorite, but I do like it. I'm a pure cheese guy. When pizza's done right, all you need is what the ingredients are: cheese, the dough, and of course, basically the basic ingredients with the sauce, cheese, and dough. But we sell a lot of margarita slices, and we do a lot of that. We sell a lot of deluxe slices, which is the combination of about 6-7 different ingredients on top of our pizzas. But for the most part, I think probably our margarita and pepperoni are two main slices that we sell. But we'll do anything. We have the ability to put together any kind of slice, but those are our two staples that go out the door mostly.
Sounds good, and I've had both, and they're both very good.
The fight he asked me, he sent me, Joel, I apologize. I haven't had a chance to open up that email yet. We've just been getting pounded. It's one of our busiest seasons ever right now, and I'm going to try and see that sometime today. I have my sons coming into work this morning just to help prep up and stuff. So we're still probably in the middle of our busy season, and I'm going to hope to look at that fight tonight.
So we got a couple of good fights that are been scheduled here. And one I'm really psyched about because I loved the first one. It was announced yesterday that on the undercard of the HBO broadcast of a championship fight between Roman Gonzalez and Carlos Cudras, which is for the Flyweight World Championship. They are going to have the rematch between Jesus Soto Karass and Yoshiro Kamagagi, which was a fantastic, highly fight of the year candidate type fight, and everybody wanted to see a rematch of that fight. Finally, it's going to be taking place on September 10th, so I'm really looking forward to that. When Soto Karass, when the real Soto Karass shows up, he is one tough out. He has shown a couple of times when he's not as good, But anyway, we got Dax Khan is going to be calling in a couple of minutes. He's got some social media stuff to talk about, and then what we'll do is open up the phone lines for the fans, Sal. So one other fight that I'm kind of, I want to see. But I'm curious about what they're talking about. First of all, cruiserweight. His nickname now is the Upsetter because he's had some quite a bit of upsets in his career. Ovale McKenzie, who doesn't have an impressive record, and I think this is why I like this guy. 25 wins, 12 losses, and a draw. It's been announced that he's going to be challenging Marco Captain Huck, and this is the confusion for me because Marco Captain Huck lost his title, but apparently he still has the IBO cruiserweight title, and McKenzie will be challenging him in Germany on September 24th. I like Captain Huck, but you can never count out McKenzie, Sal. He's one of those types of fighters that, despite his record, he's a tough guy, and you never know what to expect.
Well, you and I have discussed this. You never know what a fighter like that, who's dangerous, has a pop in his punch, and can get in a mix, and has had some upsets in his career. You never know what fighter you're going to see that night, and who knows? Maybe he's going to put it all together, rise to the occasion, and we're going to see an upset. Who knows?
Well, Marco Captain Huck was at the top of the division.
We saw that fight.
Yeah, well, then we saw what happened to him. Towards the end, he was winning the fight. And then,
he was winning the fight until he got knocked out.
That's right. Everybody's winning until they get knocked out.
Until they get hit.
But
who was it that says Mike Tyson? Everyone has a game plan until they get hit.
Until they get hit. So it's good. And this weekend, don't forget. I keep saying it, but don't forget about our post-fight show. We're going to want you to tune into that. The undercard. It's one of these undercards that. Can go either way. The Jose Benavidez fight against Francisco Santana, that's a decent fight. Alexander Godvazik against Tommy Karpency. Tommy Karpency's a tough guy, but he's never can get over that hump, it seems. So we'll see how he does. And Oscar Valdez is on that card too, Sal, against Matias Rudia. And that's in the featherweight division. That ought to be an interesting fight. But obviously everybody's tuning in for the Crawford-Viktor Postol fight. And joining us right now, Sal, is Dax Khan. He's got some social media news for us. What's up, Dax?
Happy Friday, everybody. Getting ready for this weekend. Hopefully it's not going to be as hot as they say. How's everybody else this morning?
Pretty good, Dax. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. And you know what? You don't have to worry about being hot, as they say, because it's always hot in Georgia.
It's going to be miserable in New York tomorrow, I heard. Today, too, really? A little bit. Yeah.
It's been all week. Gosh, this whole summer's been brutal.
Actually,
we live a heat wave every year. It starts in May and ends in September.
We actually haven't had that much humid days up north here, Dax. I'd say maybe 5 total so far. And earlier this week, we had a fantastic day. I think it was Tuesday. It was just gorgeous, man. It was no humidity. It was probably around 80 degrees. It was really nice, man. But hey, it is what it is. And
I think we had that one day, then the tornado earlier this month, and gosh, forget it.
So what do you got cooking, brother? What's going on in social media? Fill us in.
A lot of good. Some rumors and some stuff that I question exactly what goes through the minds of these people, and actually how to kill a career before it even starts. We'll start out with Richard Schaefer. According to reports, he's going to be entering back into business. His promotion company, Ringstar Sports, is scheduled to have its first show this fall. That's just what we need, another worm inside the sport. Andre Berto wants to clarify. All the talk about him and Danny Garcia going against having a face-off. As far as he's concerned, there is not going to be a fight. It's just talk right now. It's just his name is just one being thrown out there to kind of distract people from other things that Danny Garcia may or may not be up to, because he's had no contract. He hasn't gotten any calls or negotiations. So as of right now, you can consider that fight a no-go. Adrian Broner, hot topic of the week. Broner, we all know what's happened. We've talked about it on the show, him going to court drunk, getting his 30 days. He's becoming a bit of a symbol of pity. At one point in time, Adrian Broner was the guy everybody liked to make fun of, but, inside the ring, everybody knew he was a talent. Right now, Adrian Broner, according to the masses, he's really just become nothing more than cliche. And yesterday's news, just as he was starting, his career to make something of himself. Adrian Broner has truly just hit rock bottom, and there may not be any coming back for him. Eddie Hearn, I spoke about this either earlier this week or last week. Tony Bellows had this ongoing war of words with David Haye. And there was mention that B.J. Flores, David Haye's friend, might be the guy to step in there because we know David Haye doesn't want to actually fight. But Eddie Hearn, Tony Bellows' promoter and head of Matchroom Boxing, has pretty much confirmed that it's going to be Tony Bellow against B.J. Flores in Tony Bellows' first WBC cruiserweight title defense. Deontay Wilder sent out a video yesterday. It was absolutely funny. Had me hysterical. It was in post-op after he had his surgery for the right hand that was injured in the Chris Arreola fight. He's sitting in post-op. He's got his gown on. He's half sedated, and he's got he's doing like a little selfie video. He's going, one surgery down, one to go. Thanks for the prayers. I appreciate that. Then he follows it up with, I'm under the influence of something, but I feel good.
Well, if he ever gets in with Anthony Joshua, they better give him something because he's not going to be feeling too good.
He's not going to feel good.
And David Haye, isn't the fight with Briggs supposed to take place in the fall, Dax? I thought that was pretty much a done deal based on their previous fights. They both had to come out on top. They were both hand-fed some sacrificial lambs, and I thought that David Haye against Briggs was basically happening.
And well, David Haye's the one that kind of jumped on Tony Bellew as soon as Tony had won the cruiserweight title. And so Tony said, hey, let's go. And you know what? Tony offered him the fight. David Haye ran his mouth, and then all of a sudden, in comes B.J. Flores. David Haye has proven throughout his career, except for the earlier parts, and when he kind of first turned heavyweight, even up to the Nicola Valua fight, a guy who was potentially going to be something special in the heavyweight division. Now he just talks a lot, and he fights a lot of people that, nobody even knows their name. It makes Deontay Wilder's unknown opponents actually look rather impressive, don't you think?
That's pretty funny, and when you can say that, but I think you're right, And Tony Bellew against B.J. Flores, I love B.J. Flores as a ringside analyst, but man, I hate him in the ring, and he acts like he's accomplished so much, and he really hasn't, and I don't know why he keeps fighting. I don't know why Paulie Malignaggi keeps fighting. I mean, they both have a couple of good, they both of them have good gigs, on the other side of the rope. So I don't know, and as far as Adrian Broner, did you say that people are actually feeling sorry for him? I mean, to me, he's the Johnny Manziel of boxing.
It's sad to see what he's become of himself, and I was throwing it away. Remember, he's still only 26 years old, and then he's literally thrown it all away.
Yeah, but he's had so many chances already. I mean, remember, this is a guy that should have learned after he was being a total clown and then lost. That's when you're supposed. Same thing with Manziel. You get in trouble, and that's when you learn your lesson. But these guys, they're on a fast track to crashing and burning. I mean, how many times? You know what they say. You make a mistake, you learn from it, and you move on. You keep making the same mistake over and over, you're an idiot. I mean, there's no way around it, right?
A lot of the people that are around them as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing. The one thing I had admired about Adrian Broner, I mean, early on, I thought he displayed a lot of talent and stuff. But one time when he fought that fight when he lost against Madonna, which sounds like the singer, in the corner. Remember, in the corner, it was chaos with all of them. But he was the calm, cool, and collective one, even though he was the one hitting the canvas. So I kind of respected him for that. He took control of his corner, but he hasn't been able to take control of his career. So he might be one of those guys that was a huge waste of talent, and never got back to what we expected from him. That's where I think he's heading.
I've said it before, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Actually, an older person who had asked me how come this happens to these young kids, and they were referring even back to Mike Tyson or Holyfield, who they weren't so young when their career had fallen. But I explained this, said that's a lot to deal with for anybody. When you gather that much fame and money, and you have those rah-rah men, and everybody's telling you what's great and how great you are, and they're giving you the impression that no matter what you do, you're not going to have any sort of repercussions, and you're in public, and people expect this certain persona of you, and you haven't had that chance to mature mentally. Forget about obviously physically you are, but it's a lot. That's why boxing, as we always say, is more mental than physical, both inside the ring and outside the ring.
Hey, Dax, we're going to open up the phone lines, but I want to get your official prediction on the big fight this weekend, Terence Crawford against Viktor Postol.
Terence Crawford, Viktor Postol, I'm going to have to go with Viktor Postol.
Really?
The Omaha fans are flying out to Vegas. Terence Crawford actually getting people to travel. That's great right there. That just says how big of a star he is and the potential for this. But Viktor Postol, they're just overlooking him well too much. I know he's been in camp. I know that Roberto Duran has been over in the camp, actually in his ear a little bit, giving a lot of advice with Freddie Roach, according to reports. And also, Viktor Postol's wife had twins this week. So, that's a lot of extra motivation right there. Viktor Postol, nobody expected him to do well in the Lucas Matisse fight, and we've seen what happened there. So I think Viktor Postol is going to pull it out, especially because Terence Crawford is vulnerable early. One last thing.
Well, wait. Let me before you get to that last thing. Let me ask you this: Do you think that he's going to be able to, keep Terence Crawford away? I mean, he clearly has a huge height advantage and also a reach advantage. Do you think that he is going to try to employ that to keep him away? Because I know Viktor Postol, despite his lower knockout numbers, he does like to get in the pocket, and so does Crawford. I mean, could we see a bang type fight?
We could. We could. But I think Viktor Postol is a guy who's smart. So I expect a very technical fight from him, and I expect that jab to be a key weapon. And I don't think he's going to really do anything special to win this fight, and that's not an insult to Terence Crawford, but when you have a long jab and you work well behind it, we've seen it, countless times, that can do wonders in a fight no matter what level you're on, and I think that's what's going to win Viktor Postol this bout.
And it just seems to me that Terence Crawford, even though, he fought in a lower weight class, that he's faced tougher opposition. And a lot of people forget that originally he was brought in as the B side and has really worked his way into the position he's in. And I think that from a long-term perspective, if I'm involved with a fighter, that's the fighter I want, man, because he's been in tough before and he's prevailed. And we always talk about it, how a young fighter should be brought up and handed a progressively harder opponent to get better himself. And even though that wasn't the original plan with Crawford, with the promoter, they threw him in to as an opponent. They certainly switched sides pretty quick when they saw this kid was winning the fights that he wasn't supposed to. I don't know, man. I don't think you should underestimate him, but it is what it is, right?
I am not saying definitely, but I just have that feeling. Last thing, the guy to look out on that undercard is actually Alexander Badzik. The 2012 Ukrainian Olympian, the light heavyweight. He has those wins over Shabransky and Mohammadi. He only has 10 fights with 8 stoppages, but look if he looks dominant this weekend, the business in the light heavyweight division has picked up greatly. Now, last thing, Coach and I yesterday spoke in the chat room about the 2016 U.S. boxing team, and Coach had stated that Shakur Stevenson, might be the next Sugar Ray Leonard. An article had come out in the Aussie, written by Matthew Foley, that, stated and literally in the title, called Shakur Stevenson the next Muhammad Ali. Now, that has brought in a lot of outrage, not only from fans, but fighters as well. This kid, he's had a great amateur career already, even before the Olympics. He's a junior world, youth Olympic gold medalist. He's one outstanding boxer at the 2016 trials. His trainer, Dennis Porter, is going around talking about what great things he expects from him, even before he's turned pro. He's talking about Floyd Mayweather comparisons. They're bragging about how Stevenson shreds his opponents. before fights. I'm guessing they mean verbally because there's no actual sit down media conferences for the amateurs like there is for pros. He's a friend of Andre Ward's, but they're already putting so much upon him. The comparison to Muhammad Ali, especially at this point in time, since Muhammad Ali just passed away, and you're talking so brashly and boldly about that. If this kid does not dominate, do great, not only in the ring, but he's going to have to say something positive about the situation in this country in terms of the violence, the hate against the police or for the police, anti-police. He's going to have to say something, or you know what, his career is already dead before it starts. This is an example of how people get ahead of themselves. It's a lot of pressure on a young man, and this is a certain way to make the public dislike you before you even turn professional by comparing yourself to such people and what they've done, So this, just like Adrian Broner, I think, this kid has the wrong people around him because this isn't promotion. This is career suicide.
Who's is he himself comparing or others around him?
Others around him, like I said, his trainer, Dennis Porter, is quote from quote, I expect big things from him once he turns pro. He's already drawing comparisons to the greatest boxer of this generation, Floyd Mayweather, but he doesn't have to worry much about that. And he shreds his opponents before fights.
Huh. Well, I mean,
and the Ali comment, you can't compare yourself to Ali when the man hasn't even been gone 2 months now. So it truly is a way to, career suicide before you've even stepped in the ring for the first round of the Olympics. And at this politically motivated time in this country, Bill, Sal, Ali, that was one of the things for his legacy that, what made him great was the way he spoke out in his country, not only for himself, but for the rights of other people. One comment that a world champion had made, I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he wanted it to actually, go out on the media like that. He said, maybe if they compared him to a Cassius Clay at this stage, that would have been fine with me. But you know what? You can't compare yourself to Muhammad Ali.
No, Dax,
don't you ever even open your mouth about that.
We appreciate the report, especially on all the social media, and we'll be looking forward to your thoughts on the fight Saturday night after when we do our post-fight show.
All right, everybody, enjoy your day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow night.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care.
Dax Khan. Phone lines are open, 845-228-8710, 845-228-8710. I will say this, Sal. This is the problem with media. And you've said it many times, that the media stimulates it. Yeah, they create. And here's a case where, we're everybody tries to be so politically correct. Is it that bad for somebody to say, hey, this is going to be the next Muhammad Ali? Meaning as a positive. They're not cutting up Muhammad Ali. They're using him as a gauge, as greatness. For somebody to say, hey, I'm going to be the next Sugar Ray Robinson or Sugar Ray Leonard or Roberto Duran or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's a knock on that person. I think it's more... I don't know. Everybody's. I don't know. It's you never know. But joining us now is your favorite fan, Sal. Me first, who wasn't first today. Joel is on the line. What's up, Joel?
Hey, Joel.
What's up, guys?
Morning.
How are you, Sal? What's up?
How you doing, buddy? Thanks for sending that email. I'll take a look at it today.
What's on your mind?
Yeah,
Joel?
no problem. I know you're busy. I don't expect you to get to it right away. Whenever you get a chance, it's fine with me. I got to go with Crawford by decision, Billy, to answer your question before you can ask it.
Well, I saw that in the chat room, and you and Coach think that he's going to win by decision, and I think it's a good pick. I think he's good. Dax is going with Postol, which hey, listen, Postol's got a lot of advantages over Crawford. I'm going with Crawford, and I think he's going to win by stoppage. And I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to live up to what we expect. I really do.
Well, what I'm curious about is why didn't Aaron put this fight, unless Postol had argued this? I would have put this in Omaha. I think being a HBO pay-per-view, he's a big draw in Omaha. You want to make money? That's where you put that. I mean, every time he's fought there, the place, but I forget the arena, but that place packs out for Crawford. That's where they should put it.
Well, I mean, you make a great point, but I think everything changes when you do the pay-per-view. The revenue streams are different, and you're right. Freddie Roach involved with Viktor Postol. They might have said that they didn't want a home field advantage, so to speak, that they wanted to fight on neutral territory, and Vegas certainly, for most fighters is neutral. I mean, there are some fighters out there that definitely get the nods in Vegas, but I understand your point, and it's a valid one in terms of the gate. But I think in this case, because it was a pay-per-view, the location really didn't matter. As a matter of fact, I think they're banking on a lot of people from Omaha to buy the pay-per-view, and Dax indicated that apparently a lot of fans are traveling, which is great. That's the biggest sign of strength from a fan base, is when you could get a fan base to travel to see you. Ricky Hatton had people coming over to the United States when he fought from England just to watch him. I mean, that's power, man. And that's bargaining power when you're at the table and you say, hey, we have a fan base, and you can back it up. Because every fighter says they're going to pack the house, but the truth of the matter is most of them don't. So
no, I'd be curious to see the turnout tomorrow. I mean, I wonder what these guys are getting paid too. I mean, it is a pay-per-view. Are they getting paid pay-per-view? Not money though. Are they getting paid $1 million or $2 million? That's what I wonder too. Because we all discussed, this fight could have been and should have been on HBO, regular paid HBO, but they didn't have the schedule. So I hope these Postol and Crawford are definitely getting $1 million or $2 million. I mean, that seems to be the norm for the PBC guys. Thurman Porter, Deontay Wilder, these guys. So I would assume that's probably what they're getting. I hope they get a little more though.
I'm sure they're getting paid well. I actually don't know the exact figures. I don't know if they've been publicized, and if they have, it flew under my radar. But I'm sure they're getting paid well. It's a big fight. It's a unification fight. It's arguably the two best fighters in that division. It's in Vegas. I mean, I would think, and the undercard isn't that great, and the undercard guys aren't going to be demanding a ton of money. So I think they're going to get paid well.
Well, like I said to you last week, at least Alexander Vazdik is fighting Tommy Karpensy as a stepping stone fighter, not as a guy like Adonis Stevenson who's taking him on as a difficult challenge for his light heavyweight title. I mean, and Vazdik is probably going to destroy Karpensy a lot faster, even though I think Adonis beat him in 2 or 3 rounds than Adonis did. But I mean, this is the way it should be. That Karpensy is here. Give him credit. He beat Chad Dawson by split a couple of years ago, and that's what kind of propelled him into people learning about him. But to be on Spike TV in Toronto to fight Adonis is a joke. Is an absolute joke. And to open a pay-per-view tomorrow, Vazdik fighting a decent Midwestern club fighter, so to say, and and beating him with flying colors. That's the way it should be. He shouldn't be fighting for the light heavyweight title.
No, he shouldn't have. But Adonis Stevenson is a joke, and he's basically the only guy that thinks that he's the best light heavyweight in the world is Adonis Stevenson. He's the only guy that thinks Adonis Stevenson is. So, and Tommy Karpensy is nothing more than a contender, a tough opponent, and he's one of these kinds of guys that Oakslandia has to get past. He's got to get past him. If he doesn't, he's in the same boat as Karpensy. So
yeah, exactly. I wanted to ask you. I just read this morning that Jürgen Bremer is going to be fighting Nathan Cleverly October 1st in New Brandenburg, Germany. What do you think about that? Cleverly throws a lot. Bremer's got some serious power. He doesn't look like a big 75er. Dax I think said in the chat room a couple days ago that because I was saying he doesn't fight a lot of top guys, but Dax argued my point and made a good point that maybe he's not getting enough credit. And when you look at his record, he's only lost twice. He's never been stopped. But I think this is an interesting fight because Cleverly, like I said, he throws a lot, and I mean, it is in Germany, which can always be a problem if that fight gets close. Even maybe if Cleverly wins 3 or 4 more rounds, they'll still give it to Bramer. But I like the fight. I just wish someone like Jürgen Bramer would, fight somebody, a little higher. I know today the WBA said he's a mandatory for Kovalev, but they're not standing in the way of Ward and Kovalev. But I mean, I really think Bramer personally would avoid that fight like the plague, because I remember a couple of years ago he was supposed to go to Kazakhstan to fight Beirut Shumanov, and he left the country. I think he was with Universim at the time, a couple of years ago, when they were at the end of their running their business, and he left. Didn't even say anything, just left the country. Didn't say why, and then when he left, he said, he wasn't feeling well. But to me, that sounds like somebody who's afraid of taking on a real challenge.
Well, he did sign with Lou DiBella at one point, if I recall correctly. So I don't know if he's still with him, but his career's coming to an end, man. I mean,
Bramer, you talking about?
Yeah.
I know he's with Sorland. I know that for 100%. I don't know about if he was at one point, but I know right now he's with Sorland.
Yeah, one point he was when he got stripped of his titles. He signed with Lou for a little while, maybe just for a fight or two, but yeah, he's kind of been hanging around. I think he needs a big fight. Nathan Cleverly is a big fight. I'm just curious to know, why the WBA made that big demand that a purse bid between he and Kovalev have to be made and blah, blah, blah. And here they are both, going in different directions. Kovalev's fighting Ward, and now, he's fighting Nathan Cleverly. So we'll see. Maybe the winners of those two fights will fight. To me, I like it better. I think the Bramer-Cleverly fight is a better lead up to the possible winner of Ward-Kovalev. I think that's better, even though Ward-Kovalev winner is going to be rated higher. But yeah, some good points on that, Joel. We appreciate it. And did Sal answer all your questions about your pizza fixes or what?
Yeah. No, I'm just curious because I went with my friend yesterday to a place in the town over in Tuckahoe. I got buffalo chicken, and Billy, before you knock it, it's absolutely amazing. This guy puts blue cheese on it, little chunks of chicken. And I got turned on to this about 5 years ago, I'd say. 5-6 years ago, yeah. And my friends, anytime I buy it, or I tell people about it, they rave about it. Not taking away from Sal. I know Sal does a phenomenal job, but for that slice, you can't knock it. But
we've done that, and we've done that in pizza. We've done that in slices, and buffalo or barbecue is very big down here. Do I have that slice on my? I'll make anything, and we'll
chicken.
Do it.
It's the chicken that doesn't go with the damn pizza. Come on, man. That's just so. I don't know, millennium.
No, do you get a lot of people that not a lot, but do you get people who come in who may not see something that you're serving, but it's something they've seen, and they ask you to try to replicate it and make a pie of it for them? Does that happen with you?
Oh yeah, and we'll do it. We'll do it and make it great. It's the best they ever had.
No, I know. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes when it's not, I feel like when somebody comes in and they
want chicken pizza, we make it. Somebody wants something else, we make it. We're always ready to make it. We'll do a deep dish. We'll do Sicilian pizza. We'll do everything. But the bottom line is, it's hard to have all of these items out there on the menu when we want to specialize in traditional Italian fashion pizza, but we'll still do it. Hey, guess what? We do chicken on pizza at least 10 times a day and on slices.
Yeah.
We do steak on pizza several times
a
day.
Awesome.
Yeah, we do it all. But
Billy seems to really like your plain slice. Every time I bring up pizza, he says, when I go to Sal's, it's all about the regular plain slice. He says, what do you say, Billy? You could eat like 2 whole pies or something, right?
Joel, that's because I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Billy and I probably had a very similar upbringing. I was first generation Italian, and to me, a cheese pizza, when it's done right, is all you need. I mean, I love the taste of a fresh mozzarella, made with the sauce and just a little bit of basil and
Stop! You're killing me. You're killing me.
forget about it.
He's killing me.
When the cheese is good, when the sauce is good, when the dough.
I gotta
is
go.
good,
I'll see you guys later, man. I gotta
it's,
go.
It's
Oh,
all
man.
good, man. It's all good.
You know,
So we'll
Well,
do
Billy,
anything.
didn't you say, Billy, that you said that? Was it you that said to me you really can't that you can't tell a place is good unless they have a good plain slice? Was
That's
that you
right.
that said that in the email to me?
That's
Hey,
correct.
Joel, like I said, Billy and I are very similar in upbringings. That's a benchmark. You go to an Italian place, I'll order a cheese pizza because I figure if they could do that right, then the rest of the meal is
Yeah,
going to be
but
okay.
the other reason too, Sal, is because you might go and there might be a place like, let's say you try a pepperoni pizza. They might have better pepperoni than the other place, and that gives a whole different flavor. Cheese pie is cheese pie, I mean,
Right.
I always judge a place by the cheese pie first, then I'll experiment. Like, that's my favorite. But I like jalapenos on it. I also like
That's too spicy.
that other pie that you make. That I like, which is the one with the blotches of the regatta.
Oh, that's the white one or the margarita?
No, the margarita. I
I
like
love
the
white.
I
White
like
is
the
good.
margarita. I love white pizza. But the
Did I
regular
ever
cheese.
make? Hey, Billy, I had to have made. If not, you let me know because that's going to be your next one. Did I ever make for you our white pie special? It's the Marshall pie, the Fletzy special.
No, I don't think I tried it. I like white pizza with
You will love
pepperoni
this, pal.
or white
I'm gonna
pizza
make you a
with
pie
fresh
that
tomato.
you're
Yeah.
gonna freaking go nuts.
Yeah, well,
with.
now that I'm
gonna make-
starving and all I want to do is
Oh,
eat.
forget about
But
it.
hey, Joel, enjoy the fights, and we'll look forward to you
Yes.
in the chat room.
You'll be back on Monday. You'll be back on Monday, Billy.
Yeah, next week we're actually only going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because I'll be covering a NASCAR event next week. But
Yeah.
we want you for the post-fight show, so stop by.
Oh, I'll be there. Are you going to be taking callers tomorrow night?
Of course, that's the whole idea of the
Okay.
post-fight.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Tomorrow night. I completely forgot. Yes, I'll be there. 6 minutes after the decision. I'll be on the website. Is Sal going to be joining you, or is Sal going to be?
We're working on it. We're hoping that Sal's going to be with us.
We're gonna work on it, pal.
Awesome.
I'm gonna try and get that fight underneath my belt and watch it, so I have a full education of seeing what we're gonna be talking about.
Absolutely. Well, great. Well, regardless, I hope you guys both have a great weekend. And Billy, I'll be there tomorrow night. Looking forward to talking about it. And thank you so much for your time, guys. And you both again have a great weekend.
All right, Joel. Take care, brother.
Take care, Joel.
Take care,
Thank
guys. Be well. Bye.
You too.
You got me starving, with the pizza. But
You know one of my favorite
hold on
all-time
one
dishes,
second.
Billy?
Phone line is open. We got some time for another caller or two. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. Go ahead, Sal.
Was one of my favorite dishes, and I also will measure an Italian restaurant how well they could prepare this dish. I love linguine with white clam sauce.
Yeah, but again, you never know. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they could do that right. then
well, it
they-
depends.
the
If
rest-
you're going to a place that's like nowhere near fresh clams, that could totally ruin it. Another gauge now pizza. I do the plain, right? But an Italian restaurant, if I really want to test the Italian restaurant from the restaurant point of view, I will get the lasagna because the lasagna it's something I very rarely like outside of my own. And the thing is that a lot of restaurants, even though they say they're authentic and they make everything fresh and blah, 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 a lot of restaurants do not make fresh lasagna. A lot of them will make, if they even make it, they'll freeze it or whatever. But fresh lasagna has a unique taste to it. It's really good. And if I go to an Italian restaurant a couple of times and I like it, I'll try the lasagna to really give it the final stamp of approval.
Yeah,
but
you've tried our lasagna.
yeah, I
right?
like your lasagna. Your lasagna is
Great.
good. I like. You guys did it a way that I liked. You mix some of your seasoning and stuff in the regatta, which gives it another little flair to it, which I liked. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, we're talking food with Billy C and Sal Rocky Senacola, but boxing is our topic. And
You're right.
the truth of the matter is Terence Crawford against Viktor Postol this weekend ought to be a good one. I'm glad to see that Dax is going on a limb. Not so much a limb, but he's predicting Viktor Postol to win. And to be honest with you, Sal, that's not too far fetched because Viktor Postol, has a substantial arm reach. He's 3.5-inch reach advantage and a 3-inch height advantage.
I see that was always my deficit, but it never was because I always knew how to get inside, always knew how to slip a punch, I always knew how to counter. And I had a tougher time fighting guys my height than I did guys that were longer arms or taller opponents. I never had a problem with those. Never.
Well, I don't recall Terence Crawford ever really being in with a guy much taller than him. He's moving up in weight. So, his Thomas Delorme, maybe Thomas Delorme was the tallest guy that he fought. But, this is a guy that took out some top-notch fighters. His last 9 fights were all against, really good opposition. In the order in which, he fought them, most recent to last, Hammer and Hank Lundy knocks him out in 5. Derry Jean knocks him out in 10. Thomas Delorme knocks him out in 6. Raimundo Beltran wins a 12-round decision when he was still fighting in the lightweight division. Remember, that was the lightweight division. That was in 2014. We're another weight class above that. So Gamboa, one of my favorite fighters, stops Yuriorkis Gamboa in 9. Ricky Burns, multi-divisional world champion, beats him in 12. Andrei Kilimov, an undefeated, highly touted fighter when he fought him, wins a 10-round decision in Florida. And then Sanabria, Alejandro Sanabria, knocks him out in 6. And also the guy who everybody gives credit for beating Amir Khan, Brendan Prescott, won a 10-round decision against him. That's his 9 fights over the last 3 years, even actually less than 3 years. All top-notch opposition, Sal.
Absolutely, I know that's quite an accumulation of good wins and good fights.
And the other thing I really like about Terence Crawford is that he has shown us, a boxing ability. He's shown us hand speed. He can move. He's hard to hit at times. But my favorite attribute of his is that he does mix it up. He gets in that pocket and he'll exchange. Viktor Postol, he's a tall guy, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show. Out of 28 wins, he's got a 43% knockout ratio with 12 of his fights coming by win. His last fight was, to me, put him on the map when he knocked out Lucas Matisse in 10. But, in his last 3 years, he fought 7 times, 2 fights less. And really, there's 3 fights on there out of those 7 fights that I think were equal to the opposition that Terence Crawford fought, even though they're all in this weight division. Matisse, like I mentioned, Selkirk Iden, he stopped him in 11, and Hank Lundy, same opponent that Terence Crawford fought, won a decision against him. So, the truth of the matter is Viktor Postol has more experience fighting shorter guys than Terence Crawford has fighting bigger guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's to tell you the truth, Sal, I think that's going to be the deciding factor of this fight. Can Terence Crawford, get underneath the jab and go to work?
That's neat that you say that because, like I said, that was my style of how I had to evolve because everybody I fought was taller and they had longer arms and I wasn't used to fighting somebody my height. And like I said, I learned how to adapt and how to counter, how to slip, how to get inside, how to tie up, how to, that's the whole thing. And I love the fact that I can fight a taller guy with longer arms and this and that. I use it to my advantage. And it never was a problem. Never had a problem with a taller guy.
Yeah,
and
but I'll tell you what. The more you face him, though, right? The more you face him, though, the better, easier it is.
Well, the better you are. And see, that's what you just said. That's a possible quotient that we have to take into consideration. if Crawford hasn't been used to facing these type of opponents, we're going to see how he's going to do with the first time or second time or third time he's facing a taller opponent, and how he's going to respond and react and get inside and do the job he needs to do. But when all is said and done, my heart of hearts, and I'm going to go out on a limb here because I usually assess these things, and I might look at things differently before the bell rings, but I'm going to say that I could see Terence Crawford being the complete fighter that he is. I think he's going to stop Viktor Postol.
Yeah, it's funny. Viktor Postol, when
not taking away from Postol.
No, but when you look,
I'm impressed with Crawford.
When you really look at his record, it seems that when he's in the big fights, he wins by knockout. The biggest fights that he has been in throughout his career, except for the beginning, he's gotten the KO. The fights that he seems to be going through the motions, he gets the decision. This obviously is the biggest fight of his career at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see if he goes in for the kill. And with Freddie Roach in his corner, Freddie Roach is an offensive-minded guy. I mean, but do you go in after a guy who has demonstrated a strong ability to counterpunch, a guy that does have deceptive power in Terence Crawford, or do you feel, hey, he's a smaller guy, he's moving up in weight? They already are talking about the possibility of the winner of this fight fighting Pacquiao in the fall. And if it's Terence Crawford, he moves up another weight class. So there's a lot of ramifications surrounding this fight, Sal, and I know it's a worthy fight of a pay-per-view in terms of the talent level with the two fighters, but my eyes are still going to be on how it does with the pay-per-view buys.
Wow, yeah, you and I said that we like a football bet. Is it going to be under or over the 150,000 mark? I think it's going to be over.
Yeah,
we'll see. I know I'm going to buy it.
Well,
that's one.
And me, that's two.
We only need 149,000.
Yeah, 149,998 more. So anyway,
I'm sure his fans in Nebraska are going to be buying it too. The ones that can't make the trip.
Yeah, you hope they do. You hope they do.
You hope.
Sal, you got a surprise for me? You got the answer to yesterday's trivia question, or what?
I meant to really research that. I was stuck on Francis Neal, and from the 1880s. But Billy, I'm coming up goose eggs, man. This is, and it shouldn't be that difficult. Google doesn't even know this stuff. At least the way I'm entering it.
Oh, God. Well, here's the question, and I'm going to give you guys.
Now, Monday I'll have it.
I'm going to give you guys some really big hints, all right? It's a who am I question. And the first person that emails me the correct answer, Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com, will win a choice of a couple of great prizes. Here's the question. I once stopped the world champion in less than a round. And then in my next fight, I stopped his brother. I once stopped the world champion in less than one round. And in my very next fight, I stopped his brother. Who am I? Okay. The hints that I'm going to give you right now, and they're different than yesterday, okay? He fought, I'm going to tell you, this guy fought in one of these three weight divisions: lightweight, welterweight, middleweight. Now remember, he fought during an era where there was only 8, so I just made it real easy. He was either a lightweight, a welterweight, or a middleweight. And the other hint is that he fought prior to 1925. So what guy who fought prior to 1925, who was either a lightweight, a welterweight, or a middleweight, once stopped the world champion in less than a round, and then in his next fight, he stopped his brother? If you email me and you're the first one to get it correct, Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com, you'll win a choice of some great prizes. Good luck to everyone on that one. And good luck to you, Sal. I know
Thank
this
you.
one's.
I'm gonna come up with this. Let me ask you. This might be too much of a hint.
What's his name? what's his initials? I mean, where's he from? Where's he from? I mean, come on, man.
Let me ask you. Would it be someone that we would, being in a fight game, that we would recognize as a familiar name in the game? Or is it somebody off the radar that we may not recall or recognize? That might be too much of a hint. You don't have to reveal it. I was just going to be...
I think I'll say this, all right? A diehard boxing fan has heard of this guy.
There you go.
The casual fan.
I mean, like a diehard boxing fan knows a Harry Greb. Not everyone does.
Exactly. They do know a Harry Greb, but anyway, they might not know. They might not know. They might not know. People based on who they're following today, and so on and so forth. But anyway, this day in boxing history, Sal. On this day, July 22nd, in 1984, Chung Pao Park knocks out Murray Sutherland in the 11th round to win the IBF World Super Middleweight title, and that took place in Seoul, Korea, on this day in 1984. On this day in 1987, Rene Arredondo knocks out Toyoshi Hamada in the 6th round to regain the WBC World Junior Welterweight title. It took place in Tokyo. On this day in 1995, Alimai Goada knocks out Hung Chong Lee in the 4th. They're killing me today. In the 4th round.
Man, these are fighters down. Now, is this the guy from 1920?
No, 1995 to win the WBA World Junior Bantamweight title, and that also took place in Seoul, Korea. On this day in 2006, Nobuhiro Nishiro knocks out Martin Castillo in the 10th round to win the WBA World Junior Bantamweight title. Took place in Japan. And on this day, July 22nd, in 1963, one of my favorite fighters of all time, and a fighter that I believe is underrated from all-time greatness, especially in the heavyweight division, Sonny Liston knocks out Floyd Patterson within 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the very first round to retain his world heavyweight title, and that fight took place in Las Vegas, Nevada, on this day, July 22nd, in 1963. Any final thoughts from my man Sal Rocky Senecola?
No, I think I'm just going to do my best to look at this fight tomorrow night. I'd like to see a good fight. I think Crawford Postol will be a very good fight, and I know we're going to have a lot to talk about.
I want to remind everybody that we will be doing a post-fight show right after the Postol Crawford fight. It will start approximately 6 minutes after the final official announcement is made. You can catch it live on BillyCBoxing.com or on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing. If you don't have time to watch it after the fight, or you're in your feety pajamas, don't worry about it. You can get the whole show the following day, actually 15 minutes after we're done, up on our YouTube channel. So we'll look forward to everybody tuning in tomorrow. The phone lines will be open. Basically, our post-fight shows want to get your opinion, so make sure you tune it in here first. Until then, like I said to Joel when he called, next week we do have a shortened week due to some scheduling issues that we're doing. So we will be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we will be off Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday we'll return on that next Tuesday. So keep that in your schedule. We'll remind you next week. But make sure you tune in for the Viktor Postol Terence Crawford post-fight show tomorrow night, 6 minutes after the official announcement is made. And until then, I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.
Ciao, baby. Have a good day.